And this broadcast brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th Street Tire and Wheel. We are live here for our Sunday edition of Sports Talk with our football extravaganza from this whole week. Holy shit. The Bengals are in the Super Bowl. The Rams are in the Super Bowl. What? Unreal, right? Both games coming down to 3 points. Not a field goal. One of them did. But crazy events that nobody expected the Bengals to be into the Super Bowl. And here we are, Mr. Joe Burrow himself, Mr. Cigar smoking with Jamar Chase in the Super Bowl, with Matt Stafford getting freaking traded this year. Guys, tell me your thoughts. Billy, Chet, talk to me, brothers.
I'm going to tell you right now, we have two teams today that made the Super Bowl that absolutely deserved it. It was great. Again, another great weekend of great football. But we have two teams going home today because of questionable coaching decisions. And I'm going to say this. I think the Rams are there today in spite of Sean McVay, because Sean McVay made a couple of very questionable calls, namely both of his challenges that could have cost the Rams. I mean, that he went out there and lived the last quarter of that game in the danger zone, because I don't see where that challenge was even close, that he wasted it on there. But this team, Stafford, say what you want about the guy. I know Chet's going to take a couple of shots at him in a minute, but he went out there and he won the game. He did what they needed him to do when they needed him to do it. And two guys that deserve it more than anyone right now, Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham, are going to the Super Bowl.
Very true. Very true. And now let's talk before we get into this matchup. I want to go over each game real quick. So let's go over Kansas City versus the Bengals. Okay. So now, Chet, I know you have a lot to say about this game. Tell me right now your thoughts about the Bengals and the Chiefs game, and what do you think the turning point of that game was?
Oh, it's simple. If you see my little comment there, okay. Why do you sit there? You're dominating the game. You're about to go into half with at least a 2-score lead, and you go against your coach's orders because Reed wanted to kick the field goal there. He didn't want Mahomes trying to go for it with no timeouts left. Mahomes talked him out of it. Okay? That's the turning point of the game right there. Because then right now you're putting a seed into their heads to sit there and go, now you gave Cincinnati all the momentum at that point in the second half. Okay? And then I also blame it on Andy Reid too. He got so conservative in the second half. Where was Tyreek?
Tyreek was being guarded like crazy.
Exactly.
Tyreek was being guarded.
I said it to you a few minutes ago. I'm going to say it to you again right now. Andy Reid, I just called them out. Questionable calls. We're not giving the Bengals defense enough credit. What they did in the second half. Those guys came out of that locker room in the second half on a mission. And their mission succeeded. Absolutely.
And like I was saying to you guys before, I says if Buffalo's in this game, Buffalo never loses this game. Period.
Yeah, but the problem is, Chet, is that you are so obsessed with the fact that the Buffalo Bills would have beat this team, but forgetting the fact that you have to beat the teams before you. They were their defense lost them that game last week. The Bills' defense lost them that game. Not even the coin flip. None of that.
But as you see, our other cohort is not here tonight because he's the one who's sitting here saying that Mahomes is better than Allen or Burrow, all these guys. No.
I'm not going to slam Mahomes after one game.
I'm slamming Mahomes big time.
I'm not going to try to take away anything that kid did, anything he did, especially just last week. You know, yes, our other cohort isn't here, but Lou's number one fan is here tonight. And we kept her attention for 90 minutes the other night without you. I just want to.
No, she told me that you guys did. She told me. I was very impressed with her that she actually joined the show without me being here. I was very impressed.
Yes, but I look at it like I said with the questionable calling. You're right about that, Billy, with the questionable calling and everything. But I sit there like this: you're dominating the game in the first half, 21-3. You keep the pedal to the metal. You don't get conservative, and that's what they did.
Exactly, and that goes back to the play calling. I'm not going to put that all on Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? As much as the play calling is going to get called out, I'm going to say it again. The Bengals defense showed up in that second half and did things they weren't doing in the first.
Agreed. No, they had a game plan.
I mean, Eli Apple just helped the team go to the Super Bowl.
Right, which is another thing that actually really irks me. Is
Me
that
too.
Eli
I'm so
Apple
glad he
was
dropped that interception. Oh, by the way,
Oh, I was too. Yeah, imagine.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was insane.
That-
That
I-
would
I
have been
couldn't
a
be okay with that.
highlight. That would have been a highlight for years to come. That Eli Apple saved the game, scored a touchdown to win the Super Bowl, to go to the Super Bowl. I am so glad that that's
But you
not,
know,
that
you
he's
know
not
what?
part of it.
You know what? One thing we're not talking about enough because we're talking about why Mahomes lost, why Andy Reid lost the game for his team. We're also not giving Joe Burrow enough credit.
I
Joe
agree.
Burrow went out there,
That was
and
insane.
that kid made the plays. That kid went out. They wanted to double Jamar Chase in the first half.
What?
He went. T. Higgins is a matchup nightmare.
Higgins.
The guy's
Yeah.
7'2" with arms that probably make him 8 feet tall with the reach on this. I mean, I haven't seen reach like that since Megatron, honestly.
No,
I
he
mean, that
looks like
guy-
a tight end. He
You
looks
just
like a
put the-
tight end.
He looks like
Yeah.
the Kembe Mutombo in shoulder pad.
No, it's true.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
true.
The reach the guy has. I just seen Burrow throwing the ball up, and this guy's arms are just going, and he comes down with it.
And they lost their tight end Uzama, right? Uzama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
knee injury,
yeah.
So,
They lost him.
And you had your backup tight end there who he played well, but it wasn't like this was still Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow still said, "I'm going to beat you with my best." He had the one-on-one matchup with Jamar Chase in the end zone that got them a touchdown. Joe Mixon played extremely well.
Was a great throw.
Great throw. And and I am so happy for Joe Mixon and that Bengals team, just because Joe Mixon came into the NFL and he's been hurt every single year that he's been into the NFL. He finally has a year where he only missed one game due to injury, and he's a huge impact for this team.
And
the
you
fact,
know who?
go
You know
ahead,
who
go
else
ahead.
deserves a shout out for that too? Samaje P. Ryan. That touchdown catch and run, that guy ran his ass off. And in the limited role he had this year behind Mixon, who had a great season, he came through every time. Like, this was a guy Washington cast off at a young age, and they, that Washington wanted nothing to do with him anymore. Like, let's just grasp the concept of that one for a minute. And this guy came on this team, and he's been a great role player. That was another weapon today. You take Jamar Chase out, Joe Burrow uses other weapons and won a football game today.
He did, and he didn't. And there wasn't a lot of passes to Tyler Boyd. There, he like I said, he didn't have Uzama, so and he still made it work, right? He had 100 yards, 100+ yards to Higgins, who I watched highlight reels, but I didn't realize how big T. Higgins is. It was either that or their safeties were just super small. Because T. Higgins looked like a
You don't
monster.
realize it till a game like today, after Uzman went out of the game and he was catching the balls over the middle. You don't realize until he's running a quick slant and they just throw it up there and his arms just go up at it. Like, you don't realize how big he is until you see something like that. When he's going down the sideline over the shoulder, you're like, yeah, he's a big dude, but no, when he's over the middle like that on safeties and linebackers who can't catch up with him, and he just dominates it.
No, it's crazy, and that's what's gonna make this game against the Rams, which we'll talk about this game too. Get your ass on here, right now, and that's what's gonna make this Bengals Rams game.
He's waiting for us to start the Sam Bradford conversation.
Right, yeah, Sam Bradford, right? Because here's the thing. So now let's look at the matchups right now offensively. You have Matt Stafford against Joe Burrow, right? Then right. Nah, I don't know about that. You say Burrow. I don't think so. Then you have running backs. I got to give them to Cincinnati. I got to give running backs to Cincinnati between Mixon and Perrine, and then you have Sony Michel and Akers. Yep. I would go towards Cincinnati.
There's a lot to talk about there, and we have a lot of time to do that.
No, we do. I know. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited.
I think we need to get into talking about this Rams 49ers game.
We do. Guys, look, I want to show you guys what I found in my closet. Whose number is this, guys?
Ocho!
The Ocho.
This
Ocho.
Chad Johnson jersey I found. Not even Ocho. Chad Johnson before he converted. Okay, so this is anyways. His
original government.
The original government name right here. Anyways, so let's talk about this Rams game. Jimmy G, I saw him. I thought it was a troll meme yesterday, earlier today, that Jimmy G has 2 Super Bowl titles. He's going for number 3. guys, pump the brakes real quick. Jimmy G won those as backup championships to Tom Brady. Don't want to hear that. Yes, he got to one Super Bowl. I'll give him credit, and I think he fits in very well with the San Francisco 49er offensive coordinator's playbook. But I think this is the last time we saw Jimmy G in a San Francisco 49ers uniform. He had 250 yards. He had a touchdown. Jimmy G, in my opinion, doesn't hold Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow's jockstrap. Okay, pause. It's not even close. Tell me about the game. What you experienced?
Again, he's the quarterback. In games like this, he's going to get the lion's share of the blame. And when it came down to it at the end, yeah, he deserves the criticism. But that offensive line did him no favors. He threw for 250 yards today in spite of that offensive line.
Yeah.
It was, and Kyle Shanahan's play calling today was atrocious at best. Everyone in the stadium knew every first down they're running the ball right up the middle, and they got stopped. And the running game was dominant for this team.
Yeah.
That's what they leaned on. That's what they won on. That's why you had so many people saying for so many weeks they're winning in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
You know what? Today that offensive line couldn't let them get anything done. And you know what? A defense that's gone out there, especially over the last 2 weeks, and played phenomenal. They got burned for 200-yard receivers today, plus Sample, who went in when the Rams tight end went out.
When Higbee got out, yeah.
When Higbee went out for the game, Sample went out there, and I think he had 70, 80 yards. He caught everything.
He stepped up big.
Matthew Stafford exposed that 49ers secondary big time today.
Yeah. And the one thing that cost him was that the guy makes the interception with 8 minutes left, up 14 points. You take the starch out of the Rams, and they have no shot at winning that game.
We could go with what ifs all day, because if Jalen Ramsey comes down with that ball, we're not even worried about what's going on inside 2 minutes in the game either, because they got the game locked up, because he could have probably walked to the end zone with that if he came down with the ball as well. You know, there's always going to be what ifs. And OBJ, still, I said it to these guys before, I'm saying it. OBJ did it, man. That guy, he is fun to shut his mouth.
Super Bowl, I give the advantage of receivers to the Bengals.
No, you know what? Listen, we're all Giants fans here. As a Giants fan, it hurts me to see OBJ not in a Giants uniform in the Super Bowl. But OBJ has really gotten his act together. He is accepting the role at not being the number one. He knows he's not better than Cooper Kupp. He's accepting his role as a number two, still got over 100+ yards today, and now his team is going to a Super Bowl. And honestly, as much as I like this Cincinnati Bengals team, I think just as being a biased Giants fan, it would be nice to see OBJ have a ring. And I called it from the beginning that the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl. I would love to see OBJ have a ring. I would love to see Joe Burrow have a ring, but I think Matt Stafford, OBJ, even Darnold, right? Like Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold. You got to give them Super Bowl. They deserve it. They deserve it, in my opinion.
Both teams do. You want to talk deserving?
Yeah.
I can't find a bad thing to say about either team. The one thing I will say is that the Bengals are going to have their work cut out for them in that secondary, because they're going to have to hold down OBJ. They're going to have Cooper Kupp. I mean, what he went out there today, he's incredible.
They just did that to Tyreek and Kelsey, or better receivers.
This guy.
They did, but here's the thing. One of them plays tight end, one of them plays wide receiver. Now you have two things to worry about on your secondary besides Kelsey. Kelsey never plays on the outside. He always plays in the inside of the ball.
So the Rams have to worry about 3. Think about that. They have to worry about 3.
Yeah, and you got Jalen Ramsey as one of the safeties.
Okay, that's fine.
There's going to be great matchups to break down on both sides.
I love Tyler Boyd in this matchup in the Super Bowl. I love this matchup with him.
There's going to be great matchups on both sides. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun in the next 2 weeks breaking this game down, because I think it's going to be a really fun game. But there wasn't a team today that I would have had a problem seeing play. I have to be honest. The 49ers over the last few weeks, I enjoyed watching that team play. I mean, they
They're a good complete team.
They brought energy. Even today, they had energy. They played the game with heart the whole time. Like, you never seen those guys getting down. Like, the emotion you saw after that game, it was real. Like, those guys deserved it. And the Chiefs, I can't say anything bad about the Chiefs. They are a good team, and I won't be shocked if we're right here next year at this time talking about this Chiefs team again, because they are that good.
There's a reason why they made 4 AFC championships in a row.
Well, here's the reason why you won't. NFL Network came out during the Rams game is that the ownership is meeting with Andy Reid on Monday about his future.
They are not firing Andy Reid.
I think he retires.
There's no way.
If he does retire, it's not going to be a Dave Gettleman retirement. Let me tell you right now. Andy Reid is not leaving Kansas City until Andy Reid wants to leave. Andy Reid's not getting fired because Patrick Mahomes went for it at the end of the first half today. That's
well,
not.
You want against him. You want against Reid. See, this was the old days.
They're not going to throw out a Hall of Fame coach based off of.
If this was me and I saw that happen to Mahomes, I'd have been Mahomes. You're sitting on the bench to start the third quarter, because you don't sit there. I'll talk your coach, okay, and then don't deliver, and then you change the whole game around.
Wait, so you're gonna put Chad Henne in there? You're gonna put Chad Henne in the
third quarter of the AFC Championship game?
I would have put it for a couple
You deal with it later. You deal with it later. You do not take Patrick Mahomes out of the AFC.
You want to know how you get fired? You take out Patrick Mahomes for the second half. That's how you get fired.
You bench him to prove a point, like we're in high school.
Like I said all the whole time. I said Patrick Mahomes will lose the game for them eventually down the line, and he did.
But they're not there without Patrick Mahomes, and that's not even a question.
True.
This team is not there without Patrick Mahomes.
Not even close.
There's no Matt Castle waiting when Brady tore his ACL in week 1 to take them to the playoffs. Chad Henne's not coming in here and doing with this team what Mahomes did with this team.
If Mahomes didn't do what he did last week against the Bills, the Chiefs aren't even in this conversation to begin with. Simple as that.
In a Super Bowl right now.
Right. Look, even Frank says you're fired from the show. You're fired from the show for Chad. You're not. You can't. You just can't. You can't. I honestly see. Listen, Mahomes, that whole Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, they're going to be together for a very long time. A very long time. They'll be in more AFC Championship games. There's already a rivalry between Mahomes and Allen during the playoffs. We're going to see them mesh up against each other again. You can't fire Andy Reid. You just can't. You can't fire Andy Reid.
You know what? And to be honest with you, in 2 weeks, 10 minutes after the Super Bowl ends, the Kansas City Chiefs are probably still the favorite to come out of the AFC East when the AFC, excuse me, when the odds come out for next year.
I don't think so. I think Buffalo's the favorite. I think Buffalo's favorite over them.
But with losing.
It's hard to take Buffalo.
Tuesday, I can't wait for that. But Buffalo losing their entire offensive staff, I don't think they're gonna go downhill. But I don't think I take them over. I don't think I take them over the Chiefs.
And losing 2 years in a row to the Chiefs, it's hard to take the Bills over the Chiefs going playoff time anyway.
I still would. But by the way,
I think Buffalo needs to win that game against Kansas City before I take Buffalo over Kansas City.
Right.
And I have a bad thing to say about Buffalo, but that's just reality.
Yeah, Buffalo's got to beat the Chiefs first.
They got to climb that mountain first.
Right. You got to beat Pat Mahomes, and you got to beat the Chiefs. Simple as that. Simple as that. If the Bills played this Chiefs team today, this Bills team probably walks all over this Chiefs team today.
The Chiefs team that played in the second half.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Right. But it didn't happen. All right, guys. So let me ask you guys real quick. In 2 weeks from today, we have Super Bowl 56. Off the top of your head right now, who wins Super Bowl 56? Billy.
It's gonna be a shootout. I can tell you. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored, but I honestly think sitting here as I am right now, the Rams are gonna win this game.
Chet, what about you? Who wins this game?
Cincinnati.
I don't know, dude.
Their matchups across the board are better than the Rams. If you look at it, they got the better running game. You got the better receivers. I think you definitely have the better quarterback. I think the only thing the Rams might have on them is the defense, and that's it. And their defense
do
wasn't
have
great
that
to
on
the
them.
Rams. And how many seconds?
And you got it before you say they have the better running game, and they do. Joe Mixon's great.
Yes.
The 49ers went in there with a better running game today. Didn't work out well at all. They went in there and they shut that down.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
I still.
I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl.
It's going to be a great game.
Great Super Bowl. It's actually a watchable Super Bowl this year, I think.
And there's no winner or losers, right? We got Joe Burrow, who's making his first appearance into a Super Bowl. We got Matt Stafford, who's making his first appearance into a Super Bowl. There's going to be a first-time Super Bowl winner. It's not Brady versus Mahomes. It's not Rodgers versus Brady. It's up-and-coming talents. Besides, Stafford's been in the league for a very long time. I know that. But it's people who have never made the Super Bowl before fighting against each other. I can't wait for 2 weeks. And to come to that, guys, 2 weeks from today, we will be having our own True to New York sports party over at South Levittown Lanes, February 13th, starting from 5:30 to the end of the game. $50, unlimited food and drinks. We'll be doing raffles. We'll be doing boxes. We'll be selling merchandise. So if you are not doing anything, please come down to South Levittown Lanes. Let me know if you would like to make it. I will hold you a spot. You can send me money via Venmo, whatever it is. Let me know if you want to come. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a live show there for the entire duration of the game, so you can see the live reactions from everyone. It's going to be great. So if you're free, come on down. We can see Chet lose a lot of money when the Rams beat the Bengals, and it'll be a great time. So I'm just telling you, the Rams take it.
And unfortunately, everybody that tuned in on Tuesday knows that Boogie has decided he will not pay the bar bill. I mean,
I know.
Guy really just has no consideration whatsoever.
I know.
Guy's a millionaire and wants to host these events and doesn't want to take care of people. It's crazy.
I know.
It's unreal.
So let me ask you a question. Let's keep on football. So what do you think? Giants head coaching position? Great hire.
Great hire. Great hire. And with the Bills assistant GM as our GM too, I'm so excited.
These are the two guys that I wanted for the Giants from the opening step. I wanted both of these guys. I hope that the plan to bring in Dorsey as the offensive coordinator works as well, because it's that offense in lockstep, and that's what they need to get their program going. They need to be in lockstep. You know, there's been rumors out there about Wink Martindale coming over as defensive coordinator, and he would also be bringing Rob Ryan with him. I think that's a damn good pairing.
No.
As a position coach, he's not the shot caller. Rob Ryan has always been a very good position coach. As a shot caller, no.
No, I don't want him around at all. I don't want any Ryan around the New York football team. Let me
tell you something right now. If Rex Ryan humbled himself and went back to being a defensive coordinator, there'd be a line of people waiting to interview him. He was a damn good coordinator. He wasn't head coach material. There's plenty of guys out there that are like that. I mean, you saw a couple of them today. I mean, look at Todd Bowles resurrected.
I was going to say Todd Bowles
going back to being a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier resurrected his career going back to being a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris.
I was thinking, yep. That's what I was thinking. But here's the thing now. Like I said earlier in the week with Brady being retired, that team is going to be dismantled now. Leftwich, gone.
He's not retired just yet.
Okay, come on. He's already said today he's pissed off at the media because the media leaked it out before he can do anything. He said that flat out today.
Hopefully that gives us more to talk about on Tuesday, because you know what? We are possibly facing 5 years from this very day the best Hall of Fame induction of all time. When you're talking about the possibility of Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, and maybe Aaron Rodgers all going into Canton, Ohio together.
Well, but don't forget Gronk either.
Gronk too.
Gronk's retired.
True.
Gronk's retired too.
Brady retires, he'll retire. Yeah, Brady retires, he'll retire.
Because think about this. You're going to have Brady gone, Gronk gone, Fournette's not going to re-sign, and they're probably going to try to see what they can trade for Mike Evans to rebuild the team. If I'm the Giants, I'm calling Tampa and go, what do you want for Evans?
Well, yeah.
Where are we getting the salary cap money to pay for that?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
They have to do so much magic in the world right now to even get us to be able to field a team.
We gave almost $100 million to freaking Galladay. All right, so it's just.
I would love Mike Evans. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see where
he'll have to take a pay cut.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
Which he won't do.
That's never going to happen.
And then you hear today McDaniels get hired by the Raiders today.
Which another Patriots coach going to a head coaching job, and we know how that works out. So
I think that might be a good fit for him. Though.
I think McDaniels, even though put his shitty past aside with his bad job in Denver and then what he pulled on the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I think McDaniels is going to make a good head coach. And then you got the big rumor, depending on who you ask, Jim Harbaugh is either going to Miami or Minnesota.
Right.
I think he goes to Minnesota. I think he wants to win now. I think he wants to win now. I think Minnesota gives a better chance over Miami.
See, but these are the two most interesting arguments when it comes to Jim Harbaugh. You have Minnesota, where he's good friends with the guy who just got the general manager job.
Yeah.
And then you have Miami, where Chris Grier really just sits on his ass and lets the coach do what he wants. He's famous for it. So he could go in and run the place, which we all know he loves to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be I don't think there's a clear-cut no-brainer between the two. You got two teams with talent. If he wants to go in there and tell them, I want Tua gone, Tua will be gone. This isn't my quarterback. It'll happen. So
I think he's better off in Minnesota. I think Minnesota's got more talent right now than Miami.
They do. Between Jefferson and Thielen and Cook.
But if you can get, if he sees something in Tua and he wants to, or if he wants a new quarterback and they have the money in Miami,
yes,
that team's not that far off.
The draft picks they got.
Their defense is solid. They got Jalen Waddle. That's a team that could go if they want to move on the quarterback position and improve the quarterback position and sign or draft a running back. I mean, that team's there.
Yeah,
because you don't have your quarterback class coming out of college this year is not good.
I mean, with the extra wild card spot in, I could see the Miami Dolphins they have the potential to be one of those extra wild card teams next year. I absolutely think so.
They're almost one last year
in the right situation.
Yeah,
absolutely. They could jump the Patriots for that spot.
Yeah,
they could jump the Patriots and take the spot the Patriots took this year.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, the only other quarterback I can see if they want to trade is go get Russell Wilson.
Well, we know he's not coming to New York.
Yeah, I have to agree with it.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know about giving away everything they want, unless you're really to me, the only fit I see really worth trading Russell Wilson for is Denver, because they have everything there. They just need the quarterback. And at 33 years old, and what you have to pay,
because the Packers offensive coordinator is the head coach.
I don't know.
He wants him and Adams together.
But you got to think about this from George Patton, the GM's point of view. Do I go out and give up the king's ransom for a 39-year-old, or do I do it for a 33-year-old?
Hey, listen, the Bucks did it with Brady. They took a chance on a 42-year-old.
But it was just money, Lou. Big difference. It was only money with Brady. I'm talking about the draft capital and stuff. I mean, for them, and especially because of Hackett, the Packers are a very spiteful organization. They're going to have to give up. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have to give up Jerry Jeudy and draft picks.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I mean, and they wouldn't. I don't think they care to give up Jeudy, because I think you're pretty much guaranteed if you got Rodgers that you're getting Devontae Adams. Because Devontae Adams is just money also. So you got to remember that.
They said already, if you're going to sign a guy to 1-year contracts, Rodgers and Adams, it's costing you $70 million.
Yeah.
40 for Rodgers, 30 for Adams.
But what you're going to have to give them to get Aaron Rodgers from them, I don't know. It's a huge risk.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
39
like
years old.
Judy,
I would
Montrez
much
picks.
rather if I had to go out there and say I have to take Rodgers or Wilson. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is great. It has nothing to do with ability. But if I'm giving up a trade package of first-round picks, second-round picks, and Lord knows what the hell else, I think I'd rather go for the guy that's 6 years younger.
I understand that.
Depends on how many years you're going to get him inside him for, too, right?
Because look at Denver. I mean, the couple of years of Peyton Manning aside, Denver for the most part has been a disaster since John Elway at the quarterback position. They've had a good team.
Besides Peyton Manning, yeah.
They've had a good team, and they never find the quarterback to make it work. So
Tim Tebow was good.
At
Max, that was your best quarterback with Bobby Tebow other than Peyton Manning.
At max, you're getting 2 years out of Rodgers. He's not playing more than that.
No,
I don't.
No, he's not breathing.
There's no disillusions after that. You're talking a max of 2 years. So are you that sure that within the next 2 years, not only are you going to win, but you're going to have the heir apparent ready to keep this going? And remember, you got to be sure because you're in a division alone with Mahomes.
What I was going to say.
Mahomes and Herbert, and you got to go through the AFC, and you got to go through Joe Burrow. You got to go through Mac Jones and the Patriots. You know, you got to go through teams that like the AFC is not easy.
Yeah, true, very true.
And again, you're looking at giving that all up for at max is probably a 2-year window, and you're talking Aaron Rodgers. He could go 1 year and walk. Yeah, I could picture if you told me Aaron Rodgers went to the Denver Broncos next year, won a Super Bowl, and retired, I'm not sitting here going, holy shit, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm believing it. And then there you go. You traded all of that for one championship.
1 year.
And you don't think Elway's going to have a say in it too? If you want Rodgers to come?
I don't think he says no.
You know what, Bill? Aaron Rodgers might not even go to the 49ers for the simple fact that the 49ers passed him up years ago for Alex Smith. He hates the 49ers.
It would be a great scenario, Bill. Don't get me wrong. But Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the top 5 most spiteful human beings you've ever met in your life.
That's true.
I don't know. He
hates the 49ers for not picking him number 1 overall.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a team Rodgers will go to. They'll take him in a second. State Farm.
State Farm would definitely take him.
Yeah, I mean, with everything you got to trade, I just don't know if it's worth it. And it's not. It hasn't, like I said, nothing to do with ability. The man is still playing at a top level. I don't care what people say about the big one, this and that. There's not many teams in the NFL that could honestly sit there and say to me, "No, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. We're better without Aaron Rodgers."
No,
there's very few.
No team would even say that.
There's very few teams out there that can say that. So it's not about the ability. It's what you're giving up for a 39-year-old and what you're getting. Like, this isn't Tom Brady, who at 39 years old had no intention of stopping for at least another 5 years and was playing at the level that you didn't want him to stop.
No, it's true.
Aaron Rodgers ain't playing until he's 45 years old.
Well, so let me ask you another question about quarterbacks. If you want to trade for one, here's an interesting scenario. What about Dallas trading Prescott?
They won't do that.
No.
They won't do
that. Dallas has
made
their decision this week that they're running it back.
Yeah.
They're going to make some improvements, but they're running it back, team, staff, and everything.
Well,
and
Dan Quinn went back as a defensive coordinator.
As you've seen with Tony Romo for years, Jerry Jones does not give up on his quarterbacks.
Nope.
There's your reason right there. Trade Prescott, Tony Romo. Can't win a big game.
Like he does not. He does not. I don't see a scenario with that happening at all. Lou, you're on mute. Lou, you're on mute.
But they're saying, and then the other possibility you got it's the guy who's probably the jailbird eventually is Deshaun Watson.
You guys know?
Yeah. Deshaun Watson is a completely different thing. I mean, there's very few organizations that can afford to take that heat.
Bill, I'm going to tell you right now, an experienced
It's not enough, Bill. It's not enough.
But an experienced Trey Lance with that San Francisco 49ers team could be a very good team. Because he runs, he's probably just as fast, maybe not as fast as Deebo Samuel, but there was a lot of times today that Jimmy G was under pressure that I said to myself, Trey Lance would have gotten out of this.
I agree. And I'll tell you right now, if they go to Trey Lance next year, the 49ers are going to be a pretty much mirror image of the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
That's what that offense is going to look like.
Yeah. No, true.
I can see
very
it.
True. A lot of run game.
A lot of running, a lot of gimmicks, the down the field.
Yep. Very true.
If you look at it, they are both
George Kittle can survive in that offense the same like the same way.
There's another thing I forgot to bring up before is what the heck happened to George Kittle last 6 weeks of the year, including the playoffs?
He spends too much time blocking. I actually paid attention to him a lot today. Not only because I had him in a prop bet to score a touchdown, but I had
which I hit.
But
oh boy.
He is in blocking because that offensive line is so bad that he has no choice but to block. And I watched the same thing. Today. He's blocked.
He's your number one option pretty much in the passing game.
They're moving more and more towards Deebo Samuel as their number one. And they're using the second half of the year. They've been using Brandon Ayuk a lot more. I mean, George Kittle has had. I think if they fix that line, George Kittle can go back to being George Kittle real easy because he's one of the top 3 tight ends in the NFL. The guy is great. But I mean, the problem right now is he's spending way too much time blocking. And like I said, I really did pay attention to that today to see where he was and what was going on. You don't see George Kittle lining up in the slot or lining up on the outside lately, especially not today, as much as you normally do.
Because he's a matchup nightmare. He can be for a lot of teams. Big time.
Oh, the Niners had Deebo Samuel and Devontae Adams on the 1-2. Oof.
There's not a team in the NFL that can say they don't need Devontae Adams.
No, anybody.
I'm sorry.
No.
Anybody would take him.
Even Steele's team would take him.
Yeah, of course. They better take him.
Devontae Adams is an animal. I mean, there's nobody out there saying that they wouldn't want or need a Devontae Adams on their team.
Of course.
All right, guys. Well, look, I just want to say one more time, we are going to have our Super Bowl show next 2 Sundays from now, February 13th. $50, unlimited food and drink. If you guys want to come down, we're going to be doing Super Bowl boxes, live reactions of the show. We'll be doing our picks prior. We'll probably be there about 4:30, 5 o'clock so that we can have our nice little 1-hour segment. We can go through everybody's picks, all that fun stuff, final score, and we can all hang out, have a drink, and have some fun with this. But we will have our show on Tuesday. If you want to come in, we'll talk about how awful the New York Knicks have been.
I'm coming back Tuesday for this, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll still show up. That's the question.
Will still show up. I don't blame him if he doesn't want to. And the Brooklyn Nets fall into 5th place in the Eastern Conference.
That's the thing. Will he bring the bag back on Tuesday for his Knicks? Let's see.
I would.
When it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, I made a comment the other day, and I'm going to continue to make that comment until they prove me wrong. The Brooklyn Nets are not a team.
No,
they're not.
Yeah,
they're a circus.
The other day. Yep.
It's an absolute.
Boogie will show up.
Will Boogie show up? Yes.
Boogie will be here Tuesday for sure. He'll be here Tuesday. But we will. Yep. No, Chet already picked the Bengals. It's game over. Already picked it's game over. Rams win the Super Bowl. But all right, you guys
you're the Bush. Wait a minute, you're the Bush.
Yeah, but listen, last year I said that the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win the whole thing. They won the whole thing. I might be a mush on certain things, but I called the Rams in the beginning of the year. I got 1 game to go. I'm sticking with my boys to win, but I wouldn't mind if Joe Burrow won either.
But look, that's more important than talking about the Brooklyn Nets and that crap show on Atlantic Avenue. We should hopefully have a Brian Dable press conference to review on Tuesday.
Can't wait for that.
Can't wait for that.
Can't wait for that.
And
Although Joe Judge was really impressive with his, and how did that work out?
I think we're going in completely different directions.
I
here.
agree with that too. I agree with that too.
We have a lot, and who knows? Maybe we'll have some more information on Tom Brady.
Sounds great.
Yep.
And so we will talk more about that on Tuesday, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and congratulations to the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. And again, we will see you guys on Tuesday, and then every Tuesday until Super Bowl Sunday. So until then, you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Thanks, fellas.
See you later.
Later.
Billy just shut